Matt, it is an unscientific statement to say that the telephone booth or pole or whatever that is here right now would exist if there were no minds or anything observing it. The thing observed is not independent of the observer. That is scientifically shown to be false. Ironically, the theist in this instance was right. The reason for this is that the fundamental truth is that all of us, each of us, is God. God is the energy of the universe made manifest by the amnesia of coming into existence and having a physical body, wherewith we explore ourselves. The truth does not exist, and this statement is true because a singular entity, such as the truth, cannot interact with anything. It is objective, which is to say, it does not exist. Something that is completely and utterly objective is a singular entity. That does not exist because it does not interact with anything. It cannot interact with anything. Observation is the dissonance of amnesia. This amnesia is the game of hide and seek. Because the truth is a singular, irreducible complexity, and observing itself squares it, life is the squared circle. The circle is light or energy, light squared mass. And that is what fills the time to make time-space and space-time, which is how and why DNA is fundamental to the universe. The universe is biological by its very nature of reproduction of irreducible complexity. Namely, you are irreducibly complex. You are proof of God because you are God. One of the physical manifestations of energy split to experience itself, and thereby exist as opposed to not exist. You always have an infinite amount of time to do this, but it is always a long time, and it is always very lonely. That is why you keep trying to connect with yourself, even though you keep breaking the lucid dream and resulting in wars and booms and busts of civilizations. It's also why you enslave yourself, the basic black hole of existence. That slavery is your amnesia, an amnesia that you're slowly waking up from, hopefully not to burst your own bubble. But it is both a we consciousness and an I consciousness, the coherent combination of both. And there is only one single line of thought that identifies it. Only voluntary, consensual interactions are moral, and the consistency of this with one's life. So, 1 equals 1, this is true. And that's all you have, 1. Well, what if you split it in half? 0.5 plus 0.5 equals 1. And now you have 2. And you can continue that progression unto infinity. Or how about 0? 0 equals 0. Well, how about you cut 0 in half? How do you cut nothing in half? Well, nothing is what the universe is made of. What is nothing? Space. There are a number of spaces here. There is the ink on the paper, that is the 0. There is you holding the pen looking at the paper and the ink with the number 0 on it, or on your screen. That 0 is not independent of your existence. It exists because of you. When you imagine nothing, there's that nothing on your consciousness, because your consciousness is interwoven with the material world. To say that the material world was separate from you would be the same as saying your dream world was separate from you. And so your dream world is neurons firing, and yet that firing, you don't think of that as being energy, that light spark, the impulse.